Hello, everyone. So, welcome to 2019, is it? I hope you had a restful new year. If you had a rest, I didn't have too much, but while you rest, our enemies are awake and threatening to take our rights away. So, nevertheless, I thought perhaps we should do a short video on 2019 and especially the elections that are happening this year. Since it is election time, I would suspect that the race rhetoric and the nationalism and the populism that we've seen in 2018 will only intensify. I don't see that abating whatsoever. So please don't get baited by sheep getting slaughtered in on beaches and anything else. Who knows what other publicity stunt will occur now that it is election time. So personally, I've got a few people want to know forecasts for some reason. So I think the ANC will win. Obviously, between 58 to 62% of the vote, DA 22 to 24, and the EFF between 8 and 10. For the ANC, I think expropriation without compensation will be a major political issue that they're going to push through this year. I expect it takes them a long time to actually make laws, but I suspect that this year they're actually going to try really hard to try to change the constitution or something similar. So keep your eye out on that. EFF, they've been in a tricky situation, to be honest. I mean, they're not coping well with the VBS scandal. All they're doing is attacking reporters and sending them death threats. They're not arguing the points. They're not arguing the merits. They're not denying the claims. It's very poor PR on their side. If I'm honest with you, the MPA is still considering prosecuting Julius for his on-point engineering days, and they owe AfriForum a lot of money, which I think is a good strategy from AfriForum. I think they actually want to bankrupt the EFF because if they do manage to bankrupt it, it can't run for elections any longer. So it'll be, I think it'll be a difficult year for the EFF. I think they influence is waning a bit. I think Julius is not as in control as he wishes he was, or he's just showing his true colours, which is, a racist nationalist at the end of the day. DA, for some reason, borders seem to be a big issue with them. I think this is good. I think this is popular for them. Personally, I've got no problems with open borders in South Africa. I know my co-host Jonathan Wood says that in hospitals, quite a lot of the patients are immigrants, mostly illegal immigrants as well. And he has a problem with these sort of these immigrants that come in. You're not registered, you don't have work permits, you don't pay taxes, arguably, and they use public services. That's a strong argument, except that do you think the average patient that goes to the public health system, does pay taxes and does work and does all these other things that you wanted to do? I don't think so. My wife's a doctor, and she says most patients come in. It's mostly blunt force trauma, so like assault, car accidents, things like that, or it's like really chronic stuff like diabetes. Those two are the major issues, and they're both sort of reflections of where we are as a country. People eating themselves to death, or hitting each other, or stabbing each other with knives. I mean, that seems to be the majority of patients that she sees in the trauma section of public health. And then there's a whole spate of new smaller parties that have come out, which I don't, have much hope for, because I think out of the 6 or 7, I think 7 or 90% at least are just offshoots of the ANC, really. So now you got Jimmy Manyi starting something new. You got Hlani Motoneng he started one already. Her Good Party, I looked at the manifesto, it's something about justice, spatial justice, so it's all vague nonsense. Nothing really stands out. There's nothing visionary about any of these parties. So I don't see them make, too many inroads, but they're not there to win. They're there to carve out their little niche and become kingmakers in some way or another. So we'll see where they go, but I don't have much hope for any of them. If those three parties together get 3-4%, I'll be quite surprised, if I'm honest with you. And so, I mean, on the balance of things, ANC is strong. The DA is actually looking quite strong because there's no direct opposition to them. There's no new party that came out that is a bit, to the right of the DA. And that would be interesting to see. But so far, the DA is like sort of centre left, and all the others are a bit more to the left than them. So it makes the DA stand out even more. So, yeah, that's the elections in 2019. Expect more racial rhetoric, expect a lot more angst, a lot more anxiety. The work brigade are going to have a field day with all this. Expect a lot more, racists coming out on social media and, ordinary. There was a DJ guy who was late for something, and he posted a video of the driver. He was driving him, and he said, you're late. And the guy was like, oh, that's racist. And, he got taken down for that, thankfully. But there's going to be a lot more of that this year. Elections are ripe for this sort of trashy racial rhetoric. So don't get sucked into it too much. Anyway, see you in the next one.